Welcome back to the Soul Food Podcast. I'm Michael Vukelic.
And I'm Jeannette Meier. Together we share insights and conversations to help you cultivate joy, peace, and prosperity while unlocking your limitless potential.
Yes, get ready for a transformative journey filled with laughter, strategies, and lively discussions that will inspire you to thrive in every area of your life.
Hello, Michael.
Hello, Jeannette. How are you today?
Very good, very good. I'm very happy to be here with you.
I'm very happy to be here too.
Hitting the record button, because if not, we just continue speaking, talking, having a conversation, sharing, and we don't record anything.
Right. We've already been talking for like 40 minutes. Okay. And there's a lot to talk about. I mean, there's so many things that we come up with, and we have to settle on a subject and share it. So you said someone had a question, or there was a question that needs to be addressed. So
Yes.
let's look at that.
Yes, the question that there is how do we wake up? How does someone know that they have an opportunity to really be the observer of their life and not be their thoughts? Because many people are thinking, they live their lives, they have their day-to-day, they think and they want to control and so many things, but they don't know that they are someone superior than their mind. That they can go beyond the mind and control the mind. That they can observe their lives and change their lives through changing themselves. So they don't realize the opportunity they're losing of really being the creator of their lives. So,
well, yes, and they're in default creating their life through what they're thinking, all the different conditioning they've had throughout their life. They have a certain way that they perceive. They have ideas and concepts that they really believe are true. So just by having that, being in the mind and following those ideas and concepts, and it sets up the way they perceive everything, they get stuck. You're right. So they don't, there is a way actually to get beyond the mind. And some people will ask, why would I even want to do that?
Yes, many will ask because they say, I'm okay with my day-to-day. I don't understand what you're saying, and I'm living okay. I don't have any issues, and that's me. That's me. Why should I change who I am?
Yes. And actually, you're not changing who you are. It, you know, I can understand it's a little bit of a question for everyone, right? They're wondering, as you said, why should I change anything? My life seems to be okay. And I've had people I've talked to in different groups and, keynotes, where they ask that same question, and, my life seems okay. They do have troubles with relationships, or they have had some health issues, and all of these things come from the mind. So as we discussed, there's some level of pain or suffering that usually makes us look at our life, and then we have the opportunity to awaken, right? We're pushed into the opportunity. And some people are even pushed into the opportunity and they still ignore it.
Yes.
They still think everything's, I can't change anything. It's just the way it is. So it's a rationale that they use. But please, I'd like to hear what you say about that.
No, that reminds me of a friend of mine now that I spoke to her on Sunday. And she just separated from her husband of 30 years.
Right.
And she says, you know what? I feel so free. And I already tried to do that. I did it once, 13 years ago. And many things happened and changed in our, when I did it, so in our relationship, no? But I continued being there and not feeling okay until in December I had a little health issue. She had to
Health.
have health issues. She had to have surgery. Um, Everything is okay now, but she said that opened my mind, my mind to say no more, because I am projecting my staying, my compliance, my everything to myself, into my health. And I don't want to do that anymore because I'm hurting myself. So I decided to leave it because I was being compliant and of a situation and not really taking care about myself.
Yes. Okay. So, yes, and so many people do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
They you can call it dumbing themselves down or
Damning, that's the word. Yeah.
silencing themselves, not, putting up with situations and just trying to keep the peace.
Mm-hmm.
These are things you learn most
Mm-hmm.
likely as a child,
Yeah.
in different situations in childhood, and it carries out through your life. So she was in a situation where luckily she awakened to, hey, you know what? I've been putting up with this for a long time, and this really doesn't work for me. And hooray for her that she made the choice to walk. And that's difficult. She made the choice to walk away. And that's difficult
Mm-hmm.
when you get so used to something. I mean, there are people all over the world that go to a job they don't like, that do things all day long they don't really like, but they have themselves convinced
Mm-hmm.
but it's the payoffs they get from the job are worth it. And I still get my free time in the evening, and I still get my evenings. I mean, still get my weekends, right? So they convince themselves to keep going to this. There's some gift that they've been given, some beautiful talent that they have.
Mm-hmm.
They're not expressing.
Mm-hmm.
They're going somewhere they don't feel, they're in a situation they don't feel really happy with, but they continue to go. It becomes something, and it's this backwards type addiction that they they keep going to the same place every day, showing up the same way every day, and they all think well, that's okay. This is life.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing, no? This is life.
Yeah. So when you awaken, it's a beautiful thing, actually. And there may be, some challenges to awakening. Have
Yes.
you had any, Jeanette?
Yes. Very, very clearly there are always challenges. But it's the challenge is really more about the confrontation to what you were thinking would
Yes.
happen. So the fear of confronting the reality you have around that you have constructed with your mind.
Yes,
So it's
absolutely.
really breaking that and living for who you are, for yourself, that then you look back and say, wow, why didn't I do it before? Or how much I've learned through this confrontation, through this, not confrontation, through this passing through this wall I had put for myself. Because
Right.
what it's outside of the wall, it's wow, it's huge, it's beautiful, it's magical, it's amazing, no? And I was living in a wall, in a box.
Beautiful, magical, amazing. I love all those words. And that's true because what I can say to this, to agree
Mm-hmm.
with you, life is infinite possibilities.
Yes.
Infinite. Infinite. Take that in for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Infinite possibilities. And where do people usually stay? In an emotional or physical comfort zone. I'm comfortable here. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
I'm comfortable right here. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, yes, it's totally like that. But the problem in all that is problem and also respect, no? At the end, you can, because I was there. So I heard many people talking to me and saying, Jeannette, move, Jeannette. And then, yeah. And I knew it inside of me, but I stayed in this comfort, comfort with quotes, no?
Yeah.
But until the day I
But you were
realized
really uncomfortable.
that I was uncomfortable, for
I had to
sure.
throw that in there.
Yes, I was uncomfortable. So until the day I saw it, and
Yeah.
then I saw myself, and as I saw myself, there was no way back.
See, and that's so key. No matter how many times, well, the world will show you who you really are
Mm-hmm.
many times over.
Yeah.
But until you're ready, you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to take that in. You're not going to realize, you're not going to see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all part of the awakening. It's
Yes.
all part of the awakening. It comes from inside, and you made your own decision. You were hearing it
Mm-hmm.
because inside you were holding, something there telling you, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
was showing up.
Yes.
And when you made that decision, wow, everything changed, right?
Yes. Everything changed for the good,
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
for the good, and for yeah, for the good, and for so many beautiful things. Now that uh, possibilities opened up.
Right, right. But it is hard. I get it. I
Mm-hmm.
worked for a corporation for a long time. I had great travel benefits. I had, a great income. It was enough income to live well. It wasn't like boom,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which infinite possibilities is, but um, I went and did the same thing each day. I didn't really enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
but I had travel benefits. It was a good life. You could say it was a good life,
Mm-hmm.
right? But as you said, and I didn't have anybody really telling me to get out because my family, I mean, I was doing so much better than
Mm-hmm.
most of them already. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're like, "You're unhappy with that?" I'm like, "Yeah." So it's difficult to get up or face the fear and jump into the unknown. I mean, you have an idea of where you want to go, and you just did it again, Jeanette, not what, a couple months ago.
Yes, with work, yes. But
Yes.
and this time I knew it. It was time, and
Yeah.
I was waiting for the perfect time. It's not there's no perfect time, but the when you have an intention, the world around you gives you the opportunity to be able to jump off because you
Yes.
already know you're going to jump off, and you have the intention, and it will happen that it really walks you so that you without, which is the difference, without fear and without any challenge. Now it was handed to me, and
Yes.
to walk into another beautiful opportunity for me today. And it was without challenge, without fear, without anything, just walking smoothly. Not like the first time, not with this personal challenge, but when I woke up, let's say. But once you are and you live in the with the love to the unknown, and you listen to your heart, and you are who you are, you see things happening around, you observe, and you see, okay, it's the time to move. And then since you have the intention and with an open heart, so things open, possibilities open to you, so that you can really jump and walk into what is for you to serve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to make this clear to everyone. Once you take that initial leap
Mm-hmm.
and move away from something that has become a comfort zone, but you really feel like there's something else for you, once you take that initial leap, the next one becomes much easier,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because you're already open to the idea that wow, I could move into this, I can move into that, and you've already been through it once, so you've been through um, that for facing the fear the first time.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
and it does seem to get so much easier. And after you do it 3 or 4 times, it's like, oh, and then you just keep going, and it's amazing. And your consciousness, your energy just keeps raising. You keep doing more and more of what you really love, and life gets better and better. And pretty soon you're just yes every day. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's
Yes.
it's beautiful. I mean, you of course the ego still comes back and tries
Mm-hmm.
to play with you. And we
Yes.
talked about that too.
Yes. I try to play with you. You fall into the trap, but since you're observing, you know that you usually aren't like that, you say, okay, and then you realize and you go back into your path, no? But every time happens quicker, like you were saying, also with the realization of the ego playing with you. So every time you realize it faster and you get out of it faster.
Right, right. Um, as soon as you start feeling off, that's your first
Yes.
big key, right? And one of the big things for me is, well, I don't know if this is happening for you, but
Hmm.
as you awaken, as you move into higher consciousness, or
Hmm.
as you awaken to more of who you are and what you really desire, or your purpose here in the physical, right? Because we all have our own gifts and talents. Um, there will be people that jump in too that try to knock you off course.
Hmm.
And, one of the big things I remind myself of is don't entangle myself in others' energy. I mean,
Hmm.
you can be compassionate, you can come forward with love, you can, address what they're saying or how they're feeling, or and you can help them heal. But there are some people who just are very rigid, and they see what you're doing, and I don't know, what their purpose is, but they're trying to knock you off course, and it's really or bring you back
Hmm.
to an old way of living, okay, an
Yeah.
old way of perceiving,
Yeah.
and an old ego thing, okay. So the opportunity arises where you could take a step back, but recognizing that and not entangling in that energy. I love that word. I don't entangle myself in other people's energy. I let them, it's there, it's beautiful and it's light and I let that happen, but I don't entangle in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Once
Yes.
I entangle myself in there, it's like, ugh,
It's very difficult to get out. Well, we
yes,
get out because of the integrity and the knowing and the guidance. But once you are in that energy, it affects you because you're in that energy at the end,
mhm.
and you have to walk yourself out of it, and it takes, well, effort. So it's
Yes,
better
it
not
does.
to go in and recognize it and not step into it because you know it will take effort to get out.
Yes. So do you think we answered their question about awakening?
Well,
Is
I
there anything
think
else?
so. I hope so.
Yeah. Well, I would invite them to please, if they have further questions about
Hmm.
awakening. I love talking about this subject because
Yes.
awakening has really served me in beautiful ways. And it's changed the focus of my life, the ultimate intention of my life. Let's put it that way. Um, my ultimate intention now is to heal, to
Hmm.
serve, to, transform people's lives, to in the process of transforming my own. Everything I'm doing is I'm learning through it also, right?
Hmm.
It's a
Yes.
completely different life. I mean,
Yes.
trudging off to work every day and doing what I did for a corporation. Yeah, it was great. It was a great experience. It taught me a lot of things, right? I mean, basically, being an aircraft mechanic in the very beginning taught me about energy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every piece of metal that we put on an aircraft has all these molecules, and what we're doing, I mean, it's filled with energy, and what we did by quenching and, heat treating these metals was align all those molecules so that metal was much stronger, but we're always playing with energy. So this is what we do on a daily
Mm-hmm.
basis. We're with our own amazingness, we are in a world of energy.
Yes.
So, how are we showing up today? Are we going to
Yes.
awaken? How are we going to step out of our comfort zone and be that amazing, amazing being we came here to be?
Yes. That's so beautifully said. I love that. Love that, Michael.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride. It really has. I have emotions inside that, wow, if one of these days they'll all come out, but it's like, wow.
Mm.
Thank you, Jeanette. I'm
No,
sorry. I know I have a
no,
meeting
no,
today, so we
no.
have a shorter podcast, but I hope everyone really enjoyed this. Yeah, and
Yes,
thank you.
I
Thank you.
did. I did. Thank you so much,
Good.
Michael.
Okay,
And
thank
thanks to
you.
everyone for listening.
Yes, more questions, please.
Yes, please. Thank you so much.